This is a Kifaru hoodlum bag on their ARC 25 frame. I've ran this exclusively for the last 2 years, and I love it. There's a couple weird tweaks that I had to do this year on it making noise, and I did take care of that with using just some cloth tape on Amazon. If anyone wants a link to it, comment, let me know. If not, just look up cloth tape. It's basically a hockey tape or like a gun grip tape, whatever. They're super handy. I'll show you all the spots where I noticed some squeaking and I had to add some tape to get rid of that. But other than that, that's really the only complaint that I have about the bag. It's nice how modular everything is. And if anything wears out, you can replace it as needed. So let's just dive into what I'm carrying. This year I did grab a Montana decoy, and I didn't realize that the ears didn't fold down. So I've just got it strapped to the outside of my bag with one of the extra little straps that Kifaru has. And if I don't have it on my bag, I can clip it on anywhere, on anything. Like I said, it's so nice how versatile this bag is. So I'm just gonna put that to the side. I haven't had a chance to use that yet. That's new this year. And I'll go by pouch by pouch. So right now, I did get their clay, I think it's the Claymore. It's just another little bag that was on sale, and that's why it's the tan color instead of the green, which I don't really mind personally. But all I keep in here is some wet wipes because I'm bougie, and a shovel because I'm a gentleman. Please be a gentleman. Anyways, they are nice though for even cleaning up your hands when they're gross, bloody, whatever. Having wet wipes are good for multiple things. I'm gonna take off. I've got my inReach on my little guide lid piece, which I highly recommend getting the guide lid, because what I like to do is I'll also run this as like a day pack. In here, I've got a couple of their external packs, straps and stuff, because you can put straps literally anywhere on the bag that you want. And I have the clips for the Montana decoy, along with the stakes. The stakes are actually where my trekking poles are. And this is a little heavier than I originally thought it would be, but I'm still gonna carry it. It does come with two, and you can stake it in the ground, but I am just using the front piece to hold the head up. And then I figured I'd walk around, maybe a caller can have it. If I want to stake it in the ground, I can, and I can use their little clip cords that come with it too. Pretty handy. And in here I'm gonna have my food and snacks, whatever I'm gonna have for the day. I'm not gonna, I don't have any of that ready yet, but I do always keep a emergency little first aid kit just in a bag. And this is super simple. This is just blister tape, bandages, and the super skin from my medic. Their bandages, top notch. Like, they last so long. Like, they are very strong and tough. And these do work as blister tape as well. It's just nice to have the full thing sticky on their blister strips. I do have some quick clot in here for bleeds, and then I've got some bandaging to, you know, cover anything up. And that's just my absolute emergency. If I do drop my main bag, I don't have my main first aid kit, I have that. And then here's my media pouch for a battery. This is a 20,000 mAh battery off of Amazon to charge all of my devices. I have a card reader in here that plugs into my phone, runs on USB-C, Amazon. I've got a USB-C charger and then a micro USB because I have the inReach Mini 2 and it requires the micro USB. Otherwise, everything is USB-C. It'd be really cool if I had. That's the only thing I got to convert to go over. Let's put that back in this bag real quick. We'll get that to the side here. So that's the guide lid part. And I do have this bag pretty buttoned up right now. This, we'll just take that off. But this is just a cut up Nemo pad. It's nice to be able to like lay your feet out and have a better, more clean area to kind of sit down and use this when you're glassing off of. Highly recommend having that. It weighs nothing. Let's go to my front left pouch. I did get a little hip pouch, and inside this hip pouch I have my headlamp, because I like quick access to my headlamp. And I guess if I am dropping my backpack and using my guide lid, which I'll actually show that because that is cool. I'll toss my headlamp in there. I have marking tape. This is really nice for if you do drop your bag somewhere, you can mark, you know, ribbon on a tree that you're next to along with iWood and Onyx. I've done that a couple times. Or if you're trying to mark, you know, a trail into somewhere, if you have people helping you pack out, done that before. And then I got my spare wind checker in my bag, my little pocket. And then I might have like a energy goo or some gummies or something in there, and that bag is super handy. Now over here, I keep my water. This is just an Nalgene bottle. And I have my bear defense. And other than that, that's all I can fit on my hip belt. I'll actually show this really quick. This is so cool. It's loud though. The Velcro to get the straps out. But you can take these straps out, clip it to the bottom of your guide lid, and then you've got a cute little backpack. Oops. Cute little backpack. That way you can go bomb down something. If it's something super steep and nasty, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to leave my backpack here. Or I did that with a hunting partner. I don't really like to ever leave my backpack somewhere without me. I rely on this bag a lot. It has all my stuff. It's, you know, a safety blanket having your bag. But you have this cool little backpack as a secondary bag, which it's handy. I have actually used it. All right, let's start opening this thing up. On the hoodlum, it's kind of sweet because everything's in a zipper, which is my preference. There's a million buckles to open this thing up. This can be like a multi-day hunt bag. It gets fairly, it can be a huge bag if you want it to be, which is nice for packing meat out because I don't like to use the meat shelf. I just stuff everything in the bag and kind of disperse all my stuff. So you also have access into the bag. Oh, here's your zipper pockets on the sides. These are very long, deep. You can use, I like my trekking poles. These are new this year too. These are the Peaks trekking poles with the cork handles. I don't know the exact model name, but these are a must. I don't have anything else in that side bag, that side pouch. This other zipper side is normally zipped up all the way. I have a little first aid symbol because that's where all my first aid stuff is. I do pack around some foot powder, you know, just to, you know, you got to take care of your feet, hence extra pair of socks. And then I also carry a nice first aid kit. This is a My Medic first aid kit. I've got my name and address and phone number on it. It's bright red. It's easy to see. Everybody knows where it is and what it is. But I have this fitted out pretty decent with I've slimmed it down from what this typically comes with. Like I added some Benadryl. I have a bunch of miscellaneous medication tablets, ibuprofen, pain relief, fever reducers, diarrhea pills, motion sickness pills, allergy pills, anti-diarrhea pills, cold and fever pills. Like there's all sorts of stuff in here. A bunch of topical stuff with like chafing cream, hand wipes, lip balm, sunscreen, anti-itch cream. I mean, it's just stuff that you wouldn't ever think of. You do have burn gel in here too, which sometimes I do pack around a jet boil with me. And, you know, better safe than sorry. Burn cream, if you've ever had a nasty burn, it's the relief that provides is so nice. I do keep some gloves in here just in case I'm working on, you know, somebody else's, just, it's a good barrier. And then I also have my super bandages, and I have some Z-Zips. These are fantastic. Hopefully you don't have to ever, you know, use any of this, but Z-Zips are great. More quick clot, just gauze pad. And then, yeah, that's it for that pouch. I've got more blister tape, blister bandages, super glue, tweezers, a tourniquet, gauze, horse wrap, which was an addition. And I think I got a triangle bandage in there as well, along with more gauze. A little overkill. Most people are like packing a you know, a mint can or something, but I've been trying to get less stuff, and I can't, I don't know, I can't downsize anymore, but that's my first aid kit. Okay, that pouch is empty, and you do have your main pouch on the top, which is just a cinch to close. And normally I'll have that kind of cinch close, fold it down, have all of your other bags on top. You can also access your bag on each side. It has these long zippers, and you can go inside your bag, which I actually use quite a bit. You undo all of your straps on the side. There's typically 3. And I'll have my puffy in here. I'm just gonna go through my bags here one at a time. This is an extra heat and light bag. I got all of these bags before Black Ovis went under, but any sort of bag to kind of keep your gear separated is really helpful. So in here I've got a merino beanie, just a cool merino beanie, some Black Ovis fingerless gloves, and I have a Last Light headlamp. Here's my spare one. I always keep a minimum of 2, and these are awesome. They have a off feature, so you can't accidentally turn it on. You just click it 3 times. It lets you know, like, hey, you need to click it 3 times in a row to get it to turn back on. It has a super bright red on it, which I love. And then in here, I just have a miscellaneous of some off if bugs are super bad and you just need some relief. I have some fire putty, hand warmers of all whatever brand. Super convenient. I don't know how many times I've actually gotten this bag just for hand warmers to help warm you up, put them in your pockets. I do have 2 different lighters in a Ziploc bag, and then a flint and steel if everything goes south, with a bunch of paracord on it. And the paracord does help with the noise, because that flint and steel was banging around a little bit and I could hear it. I do something I am thinking about, but these zippers are kind of loud, and if you use beeswax on all of your zippers, it'll quiet them down. I'll definitely do that after this video. A buddy just informed me about that little hack of his. Okay, here's my kill bag, and on here I have everything written down what's inside. I have a knife, zip ties, sharpener, paracord, pencil, paper, picnic cloth, garbage bag. Biggest hack right here. This is the tip of all tips. I learned this from my Uncle Todd. Pack a cheap picnic blanket. It's not sticky. It's I don't know. Get dollar store, Dollar Tree, Amazon, whatever. Walmart. They're not $1. They're definitely a couple more bucks than that. But I have a whole stash of these with me in my truck to replace these. But these fold out huge. When you're processing meat, we like to debone our meat when we're in the field. And being able to work up an animal on a big clean surface this is a game changer. And then when you're all done, it's trash. It's not a tarp that you got to worry about washing and keeping nice and not nicking. If you accidentally nick it with your knife, it's going in trash anyways. Who cares? Picnic blanket, throw it in, try it out. And then zip ties, waterproof bag with a marker and a pen for marking and tagging. I have 2 kinds of paracords. Here's my Benchmade sharpener. This is also like the spitting image of the work sharpener. Touch up your knives. Sharp knives are awesome. I have a black contractor garbage bag for all the icky, gross, whatever. Gross wet wipes and the picnic table. Just kind of keep stuff clean. And then I have this little Benchmade knife. This is the size I like. I like having a hard knife, fixed blade when I'm working up an animal, and this is really all I need. I like the rubber handle on it. They make a great product. Use whatever knife that you like. That's what I like. I do have a tarp, and it's just a small, cheapo, I'm not going to bring it out, but it's just a green tarp with some paracord, and I do have some stakes in here. And I have used that several times when I'm not expecting it to rain. This has bailed me out of jail a couple times on the mountain. And nice to have some impromptu shade. You can glass under. Tarp. Light, cheap, easy. And then finally I have my game bags. Just always carry your game bags. They're at the bottom of my pack because I don't use them very much. And then, right here I got my radio on my right hand side of my straps. I got my bow in my left hand. It's my free hand radio if needed. They're super handy. And I believe that is it. other than I'll grab the camera here and show where these squeaky parts are. This was the hardest squeak to find. And of course it's the most pain in the butt to get to. But right there, so that was just the plastic buckle here on both sides of it. You can see it on right there, that side. And then this top. It would squeak. And I don't understand why it would squeak, but I used that cloth tape to prevent the squeaking. I also discovered a squeak right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that black piece right there isn't the strap. That is a part of the plastic that just started to get a little squeaky. Same thing on this side on my load lifters. And so I wouldn't think that a piece of plastic with this fabric would want to make a squeaky noise, but it was very, very squeaky. And that black tape, just a cloth tape, not sticky on one side like a bandage, and then on the back side it sticks, especially to itself, really well. I hope this was helpful. I'd highly recommend Kifaru's stuff. No matter what you use, you're going to have some sort of break-in time and period, and I think just time behind a bag is really meaningful. I love the adjustability, and this bag can be whatever you want it to be. And I like to just, like I said, move all of my stuff around, and this will fit, you know, all my gear plus a quarter of an elk inside the bag. It blows up huge. You can take the bag apart, and it does have a meat shelf right here, and you can have your meat close to your back, and then your bag itself and all your stuff clean. But now your profile is so much longer, and if you're climbing up or down steep hills, it's nice to keep everything as tight as possible. So I really like to just take all my stuff out and then throw everything that I can in my guide lid, stuff that I care about, you know, like maybe throw my puffy in there so it doesn't get bloody. But the rest of it can just kind of go around the meat, put it on top, and it's always worked out and hasn't been too chaotic yet. Oh, bonus clip. So bonus clip is your bino harness. Super important. Go through it really quick. This is a Striver Gear bino harness, and I've got the SIGs. They're the bigger versions, the HDX Pros, the 14s, and this is the large pouch. And then there is just a little bit of room on the side. I don't know if you can tell. Really like the pouch, and I have it set up so I have a wind checker on my right side. And then I have been putting my game calls here in this little flexible pouch, and I found that to be kind of really handy. And then just a SIG rangefinder. I don't keep a strap on anything. It just always seems to get in the way for me personally. And then I do have the phone holder on the harness on the back side of the pouch. So behind the pouch, got a little phone holder. I actually just keep it open, and I just slide my phone in, and you don't ever really need to take the harness off, but if you just undo, you know, one of the magnets here, and you got a pretty good access point typically when it's on your chest. They make a ton of pockets for this thing. You can throw stuff over here, and you can add things on the bottom. If anything, I might want to add like a holster on the inside of the harness. They do make them. I just haven't used it yet. But this is a great, great harness. Love it. If there's anything I missed, let me know. What do you pack? I know the time of year changes. Sometimes I'm packing water filtration stuff if I have access to water. I do pack typically a second Nalgene with me. That's bigger than just the regular 30-ounce bottle. It's like 1.5 Nalgenes. I will have that in my bag because I go through water like crazy. I'm not a bladder fan. I haven't had any issues with the Nalgenes. They just work. They don't leak. You might need to replace the seals on them on occasion on the factory ones. I do like the aftermarket lids that they make right here with the small mouth for drinking, and then you just have the large mouth for, you know, adding supplements. I like to add creatine and salt and all sorts of good stuff to your water. So yeah, other than food and another water bottle, that's what I'm packing in day one this season.